This is my Ion IED01 drum set, even though it doesn't look like it. They're more like this right out of the box.
Of course I cheated. Mine is actually two IED01s put together. I got a second one used off of eBay.
I added a second frame behind the original to make it more rigid. It's mostly PVC, but some aluminum. It could have been all PVC. You have to drill out the couplers to 3/4 inch to fit on the original parts. But if you start out with two complete sets, there are enough parts to do it all without having to buy or drill anything.
I bought the second set after doing the mod. It would have been better and easier to make the double frame just from the parts of the second set.
Now there are 3 rack toms, a floor tom, snare, 2 crash cymbals, a ride, a hi-hat, and a pad for the bass drum. Some of the pads extend forward to be more like real drums. When you do that, you need to support the pad with a wire running to the upper bar to keep it from moving down when you hit it. The one between the snare and the hi-hat is actually a bass drum pad. I use it along with the bass pedal for hitting 16th notes. Here are the bass and hi-hat pedals.
They've both been mounted to boards and hooked to the frame to keep them from moving around. The weakest part of these sets are the foot pedals. In the second half of this video, I'll show you how to get around that though.
There's an audio preamp, and this switch box has receptacles on the back so everything can be turned on and off with one switch. These are holders for spare sticks to grab in case you drop one. This is the drum machine itself, tucked away so it doesn't get hit by accident. This little jog-proof CD player was only $12 new from Walmart. I play it through these computer speakers I picked up at a thrift shop. I use tabs a lot, so I need a light and a music stand.
If you notice, I have 10 drum pads, but the drum machine only has 9 inputs. That's because I ran the 2 crash cymbals both to the same input.
This is a switch for connecting the hi-hat pedal to the bass pedal input, so both pedals can be bass drum pedals. And here's a microphone on an extendable boom for those who have the guts. Here's the stage side view. All the speakers are computer amplified speakers from thrift stores, including the subwoofer at the very bottom. The CD player speakers at the top are on poles that you can extend and turn in any direction.
This is kind of what it sounds like. The IED01 actually has a pretty good sound, way better than it sounds in this video. But there is some bad news. My first drum machine started acting up. The instrument settings would change on their own and odd stuff like that.
When you open it up, there's a cable connecting the 2 halves. Pull out the plug from the IC socket.
Inside, I found a battery soldered right onto the circuit board.
It's a 3-volt battery but only had 2.6 volts in it. That's probably the cause, but I don't know for sure since I never actually replaced it. I just used the other machine.
I had a drum pad stop working once, but they're easy to fix.
Cut the heads off the plastic pins on the backside with a razor blade. Vibration from playing breaks the wires at the connection. Just solder the wire back on. Put it back together with 1/2-inch number 8 screws.
The rubber on the pads wears down as you play, but you can fill the low spots with RTV, and they'll last just about forever.
Clean it with alcohol, then squeeze in a little RTV. Smooth it level with the edge of a piece of cardboard.
The best RTV is the flowable kind. You can get it at auto parts stores. Regular RTV sticks better, but it doesn't smooth out very well and makes a mess. The flowable kind does start to come loose around the edges as you play. You'll have to pull it out and redo it every now and then.
Now for the foot pedals. Where to start?
They have a known problem where they double strike or even triple strike, and sometimes strike on the release.
You can solder 16-volt 3.3 microfarad capacitors between the pins of the input jacks. I did it like this, then stuffed the part into one of the little plastic compartments. Here's a switch to make the hi-hat pedal into a second bass drum when you need it.
It could have been done with just a regular toggle switch instead. If you do this mod, don't use the 3.3 microfarad capacitors in your foot pedals. Use 1.0s instead. Here's a schematic you can pause on or screen cap to copy. It shows the complete mod.
These parts could just as easily have been put in the foot pedals. I mounted the pedals to wooden supports and added a part in the back so your foot doesn't move around as you play. I find the angles help. The diamond plate makes the pedal a little more rigid, but it's not important.
The switches that come with the pedals don't last very long.
I replaced both with lever micro switches. They're mounted to the side of the plastic tower that held the original switch.
If you make all these changes, the foot pedals won't give you any trouble.